I think that captures it pretty well, is that the unit growth stepped up from 10% in the March quarter to 18%. That was impressive. That's the best unit growth they've had since March of 2018. I think that is probably the reason why, despite these comments about them continuing to spend, that the stock hasn't traded off. I do believe that this spending cycle, there needs to be some light at the end of the tunnel. And the reason is that ultimately you do need to grow into your multiple. In this case, Amazon's multiple is, call it, just over 50 times next year's earnings. And on the call, the CFO is talking about going into spending for the next several quarters for this one-day shipping. And the stock actually traded up on that, which tells you that I'm somewhat tone deaf to be talking about valuation here. But that's another big takeaway here, is we're entering, buckle up, because we're entering another investment cycle for Amazon.
Yeah, it looks like we might go positive in the after hours on Amazon. What's your grade for the quarter, Gene? B-.
Good return to revenue growth, but still, I think that this theme around earnings, you got to show some earnings at some point.
All right, Gene, great to see you. Thanks so much for your analysis
tonight.
Thank you. Gene Munster of Loup Ventures. It's like Deidre got into our head. We were just having a conversation about Amazon doing what Amazon does. Spending a lot of money for growth, and that's exactly what it did in this case for one-day shipping.
I don't think they're really focused on quarter to quarter. They make, they miss. I don't think they're really that focused, and quite frankly, they probably shouldn't be. The thing I take away.
What they're focused on putting people out of business.
Well, I mean, that's another conversation. But I tell you what, you talk about a company that a couple of years ago was talking about operating margins less than 1%. Guess what? With the mix now, with cloud, everything, they're up to 8.6% operating margins. That's a really good number. The question comes down to this. Do you want to bet against those now in place double tops and take a shot here, or do you want to let itself play out? I say let it play out for a couple of days and see where it sifts down to.
So are you saying, is the implication that they're investing and that makes them more of a target because what they're investing in ultimately makes them the dominant player?
Yes, and that was said a little tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
My point is that if they are investing indifferent on profitability for the sake of actually squashing other businesses, that's one of the definitions. And if you think about what also, the conversation that for the next 4 or 5 quarters actually shipping could be an issue, but we'll get back to efficiency, also implies to me they may really be investing in shipping. I mean, we may get back to this whole thing where FedEx is concerned and a bunch of other players about them basically becoming independent as a shipper.
Yeah. I don't think being overly competitive is something that should get the antennas up of the government.
Dan, we're on the same team with this. I'm just telling you that I do believe the antitrust conversation for Amazon has more merit to me than almost all the other guys when you consider small businesses that are fighting against.
Yeah, I would just say this about expenses. It's really interesting. What did we see? We saw Tesla down 13% today. People did not like to see that they're cutting their capex, right? If this is a growth company, you want them to continue.
They've been doing that for.
I know, but what I'm saying is, that story was
I guess my point is the stock market, public investors have afforded Amazon the ability to do this, to not show big profit margins and keep investing. So I don't really know what's going to change that at this stage of the game now that it's back at its prior all-time highs or just near it.
It's a very interesting price action on shares of Amazon after hours. We're down just fractionally right now. What do you think happens tomorrow as people digest this quarter?
I don't know if it's some function of some of these other names trading much higher. Maybe Google, maybe Amazon's catching some of the tailwinds there. I don't know. I'll say it again, and I can prove and be wrong. I still think this thing trades poorly over the next couple days. We'll revisit it mid next week and see where it shakes out.